going to be talking about dot plots and histograms, which are two other ways to represent data. So one thing we talk about with these are their shape. So here are three shapes that we see frequently with dot plots and histograms. One is skew right, and this means that there are less data points on the right. Okay, I know that's confusing. Less data points on the right. Skew left means less data points on the left, and symmetric means that our data is symmetrical. Okay, so in a dot plot, each dot represents a different data point, and you can create a list of data from the dot plot if you would like. But I think most of the time it's just easier to go from the dot plot. So how many data points are there? Let's go ahead and count. We're just going to count the stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, so this is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 3. This is 2, 2, and 1. Okay, so there are 11 plus 4 is 15. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 data points. Okay, that's how many stars there are. And how many people ate 0 servings of vegetables? We're just going to come over to 0, and that is 6 stars. So that is 6 people. Okay. All right, so this is the same dot plot. We're just going to answer a few more questions. We want to ask about the shape of this distribution. So again, there are less on the right, so we're going to call this skew right. And what this means is less people ate lots of vegetables. Okay, because there are less people that have 4, 5, 6 servings that they ate. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to list your data points. And this is something that you may choose not to do in the future, but we're going to do it at least for this first one. So we knew there were 6 zeros. There are 5 ones. There are 4 twos. There are 3 threes. There are 2 fours, 2 5s, and a 6. Now, if you want to do this every single time, that's totally fine. But it is a little time consuming. What we're going to do now is find the mean number of servings of veggies eaten per day. And again, that means that you're going to have to add up all of these values. Whoops. Add up all of these values, and then we're going to divide by how many there are, which we already know there were 23 stars. Okay, so 23 is how many people there were. So you can take a minute and you can add all these up. I know these are just going to be a 0. This is going to be a 5. This is going to be an 8. This is going to be a 9. This is an 8. This is a 10, and that's just a 6. And then I'm just going to add those up because I think it'll be faster. 0 plus 5 plus 8 plus 9, 8, 10, 6. And that gives us a 46. And that we are going to divide by 23. And 46 divided by 23 is 2 servings per day. Okay, now, here is my suggestion, however. If you have a lot of data points, you are not going to want to list them all out like that. So instead, here's what we can do to get these same values that I have here in orange. These are the sums of each individual row here, okay, or I guess column. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 of these times 0 is 0. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of these times 1 is 5. 4 of these times 2 is 8. 3 of these times 3 is 9. 2 of these times 4 is 8. 2 of these times 5 is 10. And only 1 times 6 is 6. Notice how these numbers are exactly the same as the sums that I got when I wrote down all of my data. So that's my recommendation. It's just going to be less time consuming. Okay. Now, to find the median number of servings, if you go ahead and you list out your data, you're going to do the same thing you did before. You're just going to go back and forth and cross them out. But again, that's time consuming to list that data, especially if you have a very large dot plot. So we're going to do the same thing just from the stars. Start at the ends, work your way in. So I'm done with the 6s, now I go to the 5. I'm going to keep crossing everyone out until I finish a row. Okay, so now I'm here, finish the 4. Okay, now I'm done with the 0, so I'm over to 1. And you're just going to keep crossing them out, and you're going to move in until you have 1 left, which in this case is a 2. Okay, mode is really easy to find because you're just looking at the tallest bar, and that is 0. And finally, what percent of people had 2 servings of veggies per day? So for percents, we're going to divide by our total, which is 23 total people. 2 servings, there were 1, 2, 3, 4 people. So this is going to be 4 out of 23. And then it said to round to the nearest percent. So this will be about a 17%. Okay. All right, so that is our first example for today. Let's go ahead and try another one. So this time you're going to make a dot plot. All right, and what you've been given are temperatures for the 31 days of October in Chilltown, USA. You are told that temperatures range from 27 to 40 degrees. That's going to help us label our dot plot. So we're just going to go from 27 to 40. And this is temperature, and my title is going to be Chilltown, USA. So essentially what we're going to do is put an X or a star above each of these numbers in order to represent a data point. So we want to make sure that we cross out the data point after we do it. So for 34, I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to use my highlighter to make it easier for me. 38, 40, 32, 37, 35, 39, there's another 39, 38, another 38. Okay, so you're just going to go ahead and do each of these. And you're going to see it starts to grow. Almost done. 37, 30, and 38. Okay, so there is my dot plot. And now how many points should be on your dot plot? Well, it said this was for the 31 days of October, so there should be 31 dots, hopefully. And it's probably good to check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Oh, hooray. All right, so now we're going to find the mean temperature. So the mean temperature, again, you're not going to want to list, well, I guess you have all these data points listed out. So you could just add them all up. That would be fine, okay? Or you could use this method. Okay, there's 1 times 27 is 27. There's 2 times 28, that's 56. There's 1 times 29 is 29. 30 times 2 is 60. This is just a 32, a 33, a 34. There are 3 of the 35s. 105. And here's the thing, whether you type all these in or you type in these sums, it's still time consuming. So just go with whatever's easier for you. All right, 108, We have 4 of the 37s, 148. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 38s. It's 190. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 39s. That's a 234. And then this is a 40. So now I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to add all of those sums up that I just got. All right, so I went ahead and I carefully typed in all those sums and I got a 1096. And again, I'm going to divide by the number of values, which there are 31. And that gives us about 35.35 degrees for our average. Mode, this is our most frequent number, and you can see that the 39 degrees is the highest bar, so 39 it is. Median, this is where we are going to have to go back and forth. And you're going to want to use the bars, not the data above, because the data above the list is not in order. Okay, so I'm just going to use dots. So I'm going to go back and forth. Doesn't matter which one you start with in the bar, you just have to make sure you cross off every place in that bar before you move on to the next one. Okay, so you can see I'm just moving inward, but I'm filling each bar before I move on to the next number. And what's left is 37 degrees. Okay, describe the shape of this distribution. So we would call this skew left because there are less values on the left. And what does this mean? It means there are less cool or like less really cold days. Okay, and finally, what is the spread or range of this graph and what does it mean? So remember, spread or range, you're just taking your maximum minus your minimum. So this is 40 degrees minus 27 degrees, which is 13 degrees. And this is just the difference between the min and the max temperature. Okay. All right, so the next type of graph we're going to talk about is called a histogram. And a histogram is like a bar graph, but it uses ranges instead of categories. Okay, so for example, people in the community recently took a survey and they were asked to give their ages and the results are below. So you have an age range and you have the frequency. The frequency means how many people selected this. Your frequency is going to go on your y-axis. Okay, so X and Y. And your age range will go on your x-axis. Okay, so what you're going to do is you notice that this is going from 20 to 60 for your frequency. So I'm just going to jump by tens on my y-axis. And for your age ranges, you're just going to set this up. So the first one is from 19 to 23. So you're going to leave a little space and label 19 to 23. And then there isn't a gap. You're just going to label your next space 24 to 28. Try to make the gaps the same. Or try to make the spaces the same, excuse me. And then these are going to become the bars, okay? I'm just going to leave that line there because it might actually be helpful. So from 19 to 23, there were 32 people. So I'm just going to put in the little marks for the 5s. And 32, we're going to say is right about there. And then you're just going to make this bar and you're going to put a 32 on top. 24 to 28, there were 42 people. So we're going to go up to 42, over, put your number on top. Okay, and again, this gap should not be here. 29 to 33, we're going up to 50. and put your 50 on top, and then 34 to 38, we're going up to 60. Put your 60 on top, and then make sure you have a title as well. So we're just going to call this Survey Ages. Okay, and there you go. That's your histogram. Our shape, we would call this skew left as well. And again, that's because less young people took the survey. Okay, so there were less on the left, so less young people took the survey. All right, we're going to do one more. Students and faculty at Warren were polled about how many slices of pizza they had in the last month. The results are below. Okay, so complete the table using the data. Your pizza slice range has already been put there for you. What we're going to do is take the data and figure out what the frequency is for each. So what I'm going to do is just a tally mark for each of these. So 3 would go here, 0 would go here, 2 would go here, and then 1, 1, and then 3, and then for 2, that's my 5th one, so I'm going to go like this. So that's 5, and then I have a 5, and 11, a 7, so you just need to put them in the right spot. 10 would be between 9 and 11, 9, 8, 3, 4 is my 5th, so I do a slash, 2, 0, 1, 4, okay, and then I've got 10, 9, 10, I've got 8, 2, 4, 9, 6, 8, 3, 3, 4, 9, 7, 3, 0, 2. All right, so that should give me 11 and 11 and 6 and 9. Okay. All right, so again, frequency is going to go over here. Ooh, that's me. And down here is going to be pizza slice range. And our ranges went from 0 to 2, from 3 to 5, from 6 to 8, and from 9 to 11. And I'm just going to, the biggest number is 11, so I'm just going to jump by ones. Okay, so 0 to 2 and 3 to 5 had 11. We're going to put the 11s on top. And then 6 to 8 had 6. And 9 to 11 had 9. Okay, and then you just need to make sure you have a title, and I'm going to call this Pizza Slices. All right, and there you go. That's your info about histograms and dot plots. I hope you have a great day. Bye.